Nigeria stand up, join me say, yeah. What a great nation, where there's hope for us all. We'll defend our land. We believe in this nation, and we know we'll get there. We'll defend our land. We believe in Nigeria and the promise she holds. And on one day we'll shine like the sun. We're a great nation. Though we are many people, different tribes, different tongues, we're united in our strength and resolve to uphold the honor of our land and for generations to come. And for generations to come. We'll defend our land. We believe in this nation, and we know we'll get there.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Yes, this is Lagoon Radio. Good morning and welcome to State of the Nation, our political program on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria and the official radio of the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. We are transmitting live from the Archbishop's Palace right here in Marina, Lagos. And how is your day going? It's a wet Thursday morning. Yes, and it's the last day of June, the 30th of June, 2022. Our time now is 10 minutes gone past the hour of 10. And of course, you know, every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. we bring you the latest events and all the latest news on the political space in Nigeria. Yes, and today we'll be looking at another interesting topic. Yes, what is it that we are looking at? And let me tell you that we'll be looking at the surge in the PVC centers. What is it? What is causing this? What is the force behind it? Or is it time for that political revolution in Nigeria? You know, 2 years back, something happened in Nigeria. There was the NSAS protest, and a lot of people counted it to be the beginning of political revolution in Nigeria. But 2 years down the line, it's like that fire, yes, which was ignited inside in the youth of this nation, has cooled off. But now, we are looking at would there be another political revolution. Because if you go to PVC centers, you see a lot of youths, you see a lot of citizens queuing up for their PVC, which also has warranted the INEC to cancel that deadline that was in place before that, the end of PVC registration and collection. But as it stands, it is still going on. Do you have your PVC? So today we'll be looking at the surge in PVC centers. What is the force behind it, or is it time for the political revolution in Nigeria? Yes, we'll be dependent on what our listeners, will say across board, because we'll have a lot of them. They will be talking to us via voice pop, and later on the show, my colleague Ezekiel will be joining me, and we will be dissecting issues why there is this surge in the PVC collection centers. Keep listening to us. We'll be right back after this break.
This is Lagoon Radio.
This far, and all the things that to uphold the honor of our land and for generations to come, and for generations to come.
Yes, this is Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio in Nigeria, and the official radio of the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. We are transmitting live from the Archbishop's Palace right here in Marina, Lagos. Download that app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. Follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, and on Twitter and Instagram is Lagoon Radio.Ng. Yes, the ruling political party, All Progressive Congress (APC), they've conducted their primaries, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged as the candidate of that party. PDP, the main opposition, they have the person of the former vice president, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And there has been this question of, can we do away with the two major political parties and have a third force? Yes, a lot of that question has been answered, and for a while it looks like the third force we all are craving for will not happen. But before the conduct of PDP primaries, one of the leading aspirants, the former governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Peter Obi, left that party, and in later days he joined the Labour Party. former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who was also the former defense minister and a former lawmaker, joined the NNPP. And there has been this talk between Labour Party and NNPP. But it's looking like the problem is who will become the deputy for each other. But and also there are other political parties, but these are the four leading candidates that have been making the wave as it stands now. Yes, with due respect to all other political parties and their candidates. But after the primaries and after a lot of things that happened in the both primaries, both PDP and the APC, so we are asking the question, the surge in the PVC centers, what could be behind this surge? What is the force behind it? Or is it time for the political revolution in Nigeria? Yes, and a lot of our listeners maybe answered a bit of them. We'll get you listening to some of them as we go down into the news. Let's see what some of them has to say with them.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Okay, my name is Rev'd, political analyst. As a matter of fact, the reason for the increase in the PVC center could be attributed to so many factors. But the basic one is the increase in the population, expansion, and development. 20 years ago, there are villages that are now town. There are villages that there are places that were villages 20 years ago, and now they are town. This call for increase in the PVC center. Also, some people have seen the PVC as a meat ticket. They struggle to collect it, so that on the election day, they can use it to access the money that will be distributed. So, and the rice and other things that is going to be distributed, they see it as the means of as a meat ticket. So they will use it to access the money, the rice that will be distributed. So this will also increase the number of people that they are collecting PVC, not because they love Nigeria, but they have to collect it in order for them to access the distribution of money and rice that will be given to them on the election day. And also the call for power rotation that has now led to what I call regional party, like as we have seen now, that's increased in the party that we have known before, trying to bring about new Nigeria and trying to mobilize people in their region to collect PVC in order for them to vote for them at the election. Also increase because the more we have number of people registered, then automatically the more the PVC center will be created in order for there to be a grant for peaceful collection and also to reduce the stress of people. And also the issue of division of bringing about new Nigeria also call for at least to increase the PVC, because as we talk today, some people that believe that Nigeria need to change from the change they are now to a better change. Also have registered their names and they are waiting to collect or collecting their PVC. There are some people that before now they will never participate, they never participated in the voting process. But they don't believe that their voice counts. But because of what is going on in the country, the insecurity, the poverty level, the unemployment rate, people believe that they can no longer sitting on a fence, they continue to sit on a fence. So they need to also try and collect their PVC. So we have a lot of them that have registered, and that also has increased the number of people that are registered, and as a matter of fact increased the PVC center. Also, when we're now talking about revolution, maybe this will bring about political revolution that will change Nigeria from where it is to a better place. Honestly, looking at the factors of grant, looking at what played out at Ekiti and other elections that have been conducted, even in the recent time, it is obvious that that kind of revolution, a political revolution that will bring a better Nigeria is yet to come, and I don't see it coming after 2023 or during 2023 election, because people talk much about change but have little. They still collect money on the election day. In fact, some of the people that collect money know that this money that these people they are voting for are not going to, the person they are voting for is not going to give them good governance, but because of the money and immediate satisfaction, they will go for it, and that can bring a change, that can bring a better Nigeria, and that can bring political revolution. So as it is today, we are going to 2023 election. With the increase in the number of registered voters, but it is unfortunate that this population will not translate into change, because our people speak more of change but have little. In the state of revolution, there is unity of focus, there is unity of purpose, and there is determination. Everyone believes that it is time to change, that there is no amount of money being offered in the state of revolution that will change the course of our nation. But as it is in Nigeria today, with little money, people quickly change their minds and vote for people that they know will not offer them good. So on this note, it is obvious that we speak more of political revolution and change for better Nigeria, but we add little. Increase in the PVC's collection center, it is normal because of population, because of the power restriction advocacy, and because our people that still believe that the day of election is the day to collect their dividends of democracy, and the only key to access it is PVC. So that is what I believe, and those are the reasons that have increased in the PVC center.
Yes, that was Femi Oluwasomi. He was an aspirant for House of Assembly in Osun State, and he's also a political analyst. We've had his own side of the experience. Okay, let's get to listen to more.
Nigeria, it's always a pleasure to speak on the state of the nation. Well, talking about the political revolution, yes, the surge in the registration and collection of PVCs at various designated INEC centers is a very welcome development. The political and election apathy that we are all accustomed to has suddenly disappeared into the thin air, giving way to a breath of hope for Nigeria's democratic awakening from an endless slumber. Buried beneath the suffocating hold of a delusional and apathetic political gimmick, as skillfully directed by the political caucus, the largest democracy on the African continent glimmers with renewed vigor. What is the force behind it? Or is it time for a political revolution in Africa's most populous nation? The reality is that a whole lot of elements have played out significantly in these desirable developments. And the most significant of all is the realization that the largest democracy in Africa is underperforming as against its enormous potential. As the saying goes, if you push a goat to the wall, it will most likely turn to hit you in self-defense. This is exactly the case in Nigeria across the board. Years of political misappropriation and economic mismanagement have brought the country to its heels. Unprecedented level of insecurity is rife. The various regions are seeking self-determination amidst the worst unemployment level in over a decade. Various federal institutions, including the tertiary institutions, the medical institution, being ill-funded, are just a few of the symptoms that have shaded the wrath bequeathed the people by the political class. The citizens who have been relatively absent in the choice of the various cabinet members that steer the political and economic will of the country have seemingly realized their complexity in the grounding of the country and are ready to make amends. Hence the surge in turnouts for registration and collection of the permanent voters card, the PVC. This is definitely significant in the prospect of our democratic development, as it has kick-started the revolution of our democracy. The narrative of vote wasting are sold out by politicians no longer hold water, and the people are ready to test out their franchise power. If votes is being wasted, what are politicians paying, to buy votes? I think it must be added also that the various political parties have been very instrumental in the development in various capacity, either as protagonists or as antagonists. The most significant catalyst in the new drive for mass participation is obviously the emergence of the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, as Labour Party flag bearer. His mantra is clearly eating a new wave of energy into the usually apathetic young demography, as they seem to have a candidate that resonates with their outlook. I think the religious leaders have also been instrumental to this push, as some leaders have even insisted on the presentation of the PVC before being granted access into the place of worship. This push by religious leaders is born out of the reckless impunity with which Nigerian lives are taken without any justice meted out to the culprits. Well, this sudden awareness and eagerness can significantly be linked to the failure of governance that has laid doubts to the sovereignty and unity of the country. Youth have always been the key to the radical and revolutionary transformation of our country, as it is with every democracy the world over. And their informed participation before, during, and after the election season is going to help shape the country in a new light. Well, that's my take on the subject. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
Yes, God bless Nigeria. And that's Oluwatobilola Philip. Philip. Yes, and Ezekiel joins us on the show. Ezekiel, good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we are asking the question, the search in the PVC centers.
Okay.
What could be the cause? Is it the time for that political revolution we are talking about in Nigeria?
Well, it's a new day, as you all know. It's like people, this is a renaissance period, as I would say. The time we have a renowned Renaissance period can be linked to when we are having a power shift from the church to the society. That's medieval period stroke the Renaissance period. That's in English word anyway. Don't mind me. But the reawakening could be linked to this time too, because it seems people are waking up to the realities. some years ago, where we have a very limited people voting. I think we want to have a level of change this time. And of course, you saw if there will be a shift, definitely there will be a change. If we would embrace that change, definitely we will shift from where we are likely to a new world we might ever dreamed of. Yeah.
Okay. Because we've been one of our listeners who sent in a voice pop said that is a political reawakening, like you said, and he said that inside of him he feels that Nigerians knows that this is the time to make that change. Yeah, I don't know the kind of change they are talking about now, because in 2015 we heard of change.
Okay.
In 2019 we heard of the next level, and that change is like the change we witnessed in 2015 is one of the worst we have witnessed in our history.
Okay. Well, it's never a big deal. I think to wake up is not even the issue. To do the right thing, I think, is the most prominent. In this world we have now, I think Chimeze has been to the market. It's been a while Chimeze has been to the market. I don't believe Chimeze could just find his way to a nearby market. I think on the island here, you will see the new world that you have never seen before. And when you go today, and please try and go a day after, so you will perceive the change you will see in that environment. That's not even the issue this time. When we say reawakening, it's like we have a kind of touch and a kind of inspiration behind the search that you mentioned the other time. Of course, the world is no longer where it was. If we would be sincere with ourselves. And in the government, where we have several undertones get towards any decision we would make, definitely people will get tired, and it has been an expository engagement to the people, where we have a government leaving some people to go their ways, even when they do bad, when they are half a better citizenry gap, you understand? And some people are trying to like make a way for themselves out of that bandit, and you nail them really well. So you know, people will just see themselves as subservient, and they're like second-class citizens. So while it now gives birth to asking the question, why are we together? You understand? When we have a set of people in that lieu, and we have another people enjoying themselves, you know, they believe. Okay, let me give an instance. I don't want to mention a particular tribe. When you leave a particular tribe, this is part of their dressing, going about with their cutlasses, with machetes, with guns. You would say this is their culture. That's what they do. Even when they are not in their work setting, you know, a nomadic. You understand, when he's trying to like get settled with his business, we know he will definitely have some things with him. That will be in the bush. That will be in his own route. You understand? But in a civilized world, in a place like Lagos, where I don't think we don't really have bush like that. You understand? And you see a normal being going about with machetes and guns, and you could say it is culture. No, I don't think it should be. And we could see some people that they are just shouting, no, they are not holding anything. They are just shouting, give up, pay our arrears, pay our entitlements. Government, please, this fuel is too much. I better reduce the price. And you arrest them and you nail them. You don't just arrest, you nail them. You let them feel the groove of that, what they've done wrong. You understand? And you leave some people killing every day. You leave them, you just let them enjoy their lives the way they want. People will eat. Maybe it has been happening and we are not focusing. But now it has been so expository. Like you could see, even from the surface, that, okay, Chimeze, you're an Igbo man. Sheyi is a Yoruba person. I'm a Yoruba person. Maybe Sandra is an Hausa. And you just consider that only Sandra, which is an Hausa person, can do this better. And nothing is getting better. Why not try the other people? You say you don't trust them. Do you understand? That's an expository thought that, of course, some people are above others. So this government has really given people so many reasons to want to like the change. It is not the government that will tell us we want change now. We the people we proclaim that change ourselves. That's why you see people around there, they really want change. What is getting better? That's the question we should ask ourselves. What is getting better? What is the change you really brought to us? Chimeze, please go to the market and engage yourself.
Okay, let's also listen to one of our listeners again on what he has to say.
Yeah, the surge in PVC centers across the country is not the force behind that is not that far-fetched. It's within. I may say it's within anyway. And yeah, if this is time for political revolution in Nigeria, as the question goes, yeah, I may not say yes or no, but all I know is a day begins a story, and something must happen to lead to something or another thing that will happen to lead or make way for another thing that will happen, and it progress until at a time when it piled up to an unbearable state. Some certain things will now start unveiling. Now, these forces behind the PVC, the surge in PVC centers, like I said, it's not far-fetched. I have what I tag the rejuvenation, a kind of political rejuvenation, political renewal, revitalization or resurgence in the mind of every right-thinking Nigeria. You see, Nigerians have a kind of beginning to understand that voting is expression of their commitment to themselves. You see, when you have this political, rejuvenation, a kind of awakening inside of you, you got to understand some certain things, like in the minds of good, right-thinking Nigerians now. Before they shy away from voting, before people will be in their house, before you ask them, go and pick your PVC, they'll say, no, don't worry, we won't do the election. We don't cast vote anymore. You have to stressing yourself. They'll do what, they know how to do, the game they know how to play. But these days, people now understand deep inside their hearts that this is a commitment they need to be part of, to themselves, to one another, to the country and to the world. When you cast your votes, and fortunately we have a good leadership, it affects you really good. It affects your neighbor too, really good. It affects the country and the international community, because when through your vote there is a good leadership, his or her policies on international relations will be so good, will be so nice. And a good leadership attracts so many good things outside the shores of his country. Another thing there is what I tag failure. You see, given the gross failure of successive administrations here in Nigeria, even under democratic dispensation, to meet basic needs of Nigerians. You see, Nigerians, have basic needs. They have needs. Why they, pull down together and say we have to select a leader for ourselves. These people should go and represent us. These people should help, distribute these scarce resources, this commonwealth, this our money, these things, these our resources. They should help us evenly distribute them, and they should help us at least, solve some of our problems. We have the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. That has been the problem. Every right thing in Nigeria will be enough. Needs security. There is insecurity in this country. The leadership of the country should help us. But those questions, those basic problems, those needs have never been attended to. Food security, still no need for that. We have never attended to the general security, talk more of food security. Stable power supply, you see the tariff increase every day increasing, and nothing has been done about that. These are very basic needs of the country. Okay, quality and affordable education, nothing. School fees, acceptance fees of even federal schools are increasing every day. ASU on strike. Educational curriculum here is something you can't think of. While we have leadership, we voted in to amend, to do those things to make sure it's good for the citizenry. What of healthcare? Our hospitals are dilapidated, they are worn out, and people are not even, the leadership are not even thinking anything about that. So they have failed. And now, because of this failure, Nigerians now know, thousands of them now know that the choice they make during general election will directly or indirectly define and determine their quality of life. The quality of their life is determining the choice they make during election. They never want to do such mistakes again. That's why they said no. Let us go. We need to go. We need to pick up our PVC. We need to show up again. Even though they said our vote will never count, but this time it will count. That is it. So people, they have failed us, and because of the failure, people now say we can't take this anymore. We can never take this anymore. It's enough of all this. We can never be a stranger. We can never be a stranger in our own land. We can never beg for something that is from our own soil, from our resources. A few now connive with themselves as cabals and be eating it. They say no, they have failed us. We need to move on, we need to push on. And the only way to push on is to get our PVC. That's when you see the rush or in the PVC centers or the search. It appears that most Nigerians may have suddenly realized that they need to engender something akin to a political revolution in the country. They say now, since this people has failed, since they have failed us, we need to engender something akin to political revolution. We need to. It doesn't come like that. It will pile up. It's a gradual process. It will shift. But let's make one step at a time. Gradually it goes until the expected destination. The epic revival is not only indicating a down, it's getting a down. It's never indicating a down. Also, sound political awakening. It's never this epic revival. This revival you are seeing now. This surge, I call it a revival. You see, I call this surge a revival in the PV centers. This, they are awakening spirits in the mind of Nigerians to move, to capture, to have PVC to capture. It's a revival. It's not only for a new dawn, but it's indicating a new dawn. It's a gradual process because one step at a time, it's moving. As it's moving a heavy weather, one day you see the rain drop. As it will continue piling up to an unbearable stage, you see the center will not hold again. Then things will fall apart. What should be that things that will fall apart? You see, there will be a total revolution. There will be a total take back. There will be a total shutdown of the rotten system, of the corrupt system, and the good governance and the good system will enthrone itself. So this is there are many forces behind this, but just because of time, these are the two or three forces I can see that is behind the surge in PV centers. And like I said before, it's not a kind of political revolution that political revolution has come. No, it's a pathway to a political revolution. Let me use that word. It's a pathway to a political revolution. The surge in PV centers is a pathfinder to enthrone a political revolution that will bring good governance. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
He said it's a pathfinder that will bring that revolution in the political space. Do you agree with that?
I don't think so.
Why?
Fine. We don't forget we just had an election in Ekiti State, and it's so unfortunate that even people at the helms of affairs, they could still find their way and bribe people out, and they couldn't vote their conscience. You know, of course, there was a very high level of vote buying maintained during the election, and you could see people still like they would prefer having that 10,000 naira and vote for that person giving the biggest share. You understand, the biggest stake. You understand, and they couldn't just vote their conscience despite all the happenings in the country, for scarcity, as on strike, all those things we could just to mention view. You understand, yet they could still bid for that 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira, and couldn't force their conscience. It's so unfortunate. We are not there yet. I don't think we have started. It's just so unfortunate that that's the truth. That's the truth. It's just so unfortunate that we could see. Of course, they say majority carries the vote. Of course, we're right. That's the truth. But he mentioned something. He said, a right-thinking citizen. Of course, that fact, that adjective should be there. Not everybody can think right. You understand? If you could see something is wrong in this country, and we need a kind of major shift from what we're maintaining now to a better way of doing things. That's the country we are in. It's so unfortunate. So I don't see it's never. We haven't started. We are there. We are not there yet. Of course, we are far from there.
Okay, we still have two more to listen to.
The question this morning, the surge in PVC centers, what is the force behind it, or is it time for political revolution in Nigeria? From the look of things, we could say that the surge we are having in PVC centers currently, I think the masses are well enlightened about political affairs of this nation. And from what I am seeing, I think it's a time for political revolution in this country. We, the masses, are more enlightened, and we are taking our destinies into our hand at this time. That is why we are seeing the massive exodus of people going out on daily basis to get their privacy. And I think it's time for a change in our political system or political dynamics in this nation. People are really tired of what is going on, and we can only get a revolution with our privacy. And that is the major reason why we see people going out on daily basis to get this PVC. It's time for a change, and it's time for us to move forward. People are really going out due to more enlightenment by many of us on social media. It is time for you to get this right. It is time for you to get this right. And from what we are seeing, you can see how people are moving from this country to another country. But for us that are still here, we are mobilizing people to go out, get your card, vote for the people or for the individual you think can help us in a little way adjust the settings of this country. It is just a political revolution as at this time that people are really turning out, and we strongly believe at the end of everything, our coming out to get this card will be a thing of success for us, because we know how our political affairs is being run in this nation. We believe with this revolution in our system now, everything will be right at the end of the day. But for me, it is a time for political revolution. People are tired. People are not satisfied with what is going on. People want a change. And for us to get a change, there must be a revolution in our political system. And that is the major reason why we see them going out to get this card. Mobilization has started from the grassroots for people to know this is very important for us to have a change. PVC is very important for you to vote the candidates you think can help fix this country. PVC is the main reason why you can talk when people are talking. So you could go out, get it, and be prepared to vote who you think who has the best interest of this nation at hand. It's a time for political revolution, and we are hoping for a better outcome come 2023. With the massive of people going out daily, we hope we can get a better outcome come 2023. Thank you. God bless Lagos.
Good morning. I remember my humble self, Comrade Azibike Ishimoji from Imo State. What we have currently in Nigeria today is what I can call political revolution or awakening of individuals' consciousness on party participation.
Okay, Ezekiel, do you believe he said awakening political consciousness?
Chimeze, it's just so unfortunate that we are not getting it yet.
Okay.
I said something that we are far from that reality. Okay, let me give an instance. When there was SARS protest, how many people could wait? And how well could we defend those people that were killed and they aren't getting any justice? To what extent do you think we can uphold that? On the social media last week, you will see a particular story. And this week, you will see another one. Next week, you will definitely see another one. And that's how we pile up stories. And nothing is being done on those stories. Nobody wants to be part of that history. We only want to be the reality and the futurity. Of course, we will now face the hem of the military when the election comes. It's unfortunate that you were not there in Osun when they had this, I don't want to say election, the supplementary election. Of course, they mentioned it. If you were there, you will get to know that these people are not here to joke. We are only, I don't want to say we are deceiving ourselves. The person that just talked, of course, the penultimate person that talked, he said, of course, people are now waking up and people are taking laws into that. They want to, of course, let's express ourselves. You could. If you know what is happening on social media, if social media could be the election we're going to have, definitely we know the winner already. But it's so unfortunate that may not be our reality. Go to the police station. You will see what is happening there. You will see the level at which these are wonderful party agents will be finding their way to get voters. Of course, they have a particular amount of money allotted to each polling unit. So they will be there. They want to see whom you are voting for. And even the military, our policemen will be looking at them, doing all sorts. They will not see anything. They will not even do video. If you dare do video, they will even attack you. So are you ready to face those ones with guns, even when you have nothing on you to defend yourself? So if you are ready, I think we will be like a mile closer to that place. But this time, of course, nobody is ready. The moment you hear cow or taco, I don't want to see how Banga will even sound. If the moment you hear anything, you are up there with the silence, you will just run away, and that's all. Nothing will happen, and they will find their way. So if you are not, we are never ready. We are never ready.
Okay, according to Ezekiel, we are never ready. But we look forward to see a better 2023.
Amen.
And let's see how this goes. Let's search. Let's see where it will lead us. And we pray for a better Nigeria. And that's the much we can take on today's edition of the program, State of the National Political Program on Lagoon Radio. Join us again next Thursday for another edition. Hopefully, we'll be having a guest, maybe from the APC, to look at the chances of the APC in the next election. Thank you, Ezekiel, for crossing by.
Thank you.
And also thank you to our producer, Olumakaiye, for pressing the right buttons. And thank you, our listener. Join us again Thursday. I am Anosike Chimeze. Do have a lovely day.
This is Lagoonradio.